using testosterone after 40 years of age. What do you think about it? For those who are lifting weights, those who want to build muscles, what do you think? Do you
Okay,
suggest
so,
that?
um, hmm. So, so the more testosterone that you have, the more muscle you're going to build, and the more your what you eat is going to partition into muscle instead of fat. So you're going to get better nutrient partitioning. You're going to have a better cap, like at the upper limit on the amount of muscle that you can build. When you're 40 years old, there's many different reasons why it becomes more difficult to build muscle. One of those reasons is testosterone, but other reasons include things like simply your body recovers from injury more slowly, or you may have nagging injuries that prevent you from training as hard as often. Certainly in my mid 30s, I'm having that issue a lot. And so adding testosterone to that, um, let's say you can't train as often, or you had lower testosterone, or simply you just can't train as often, having more testosterone on board will make it so that you lose less muscle whenever you're not training and you retain more muscle, and then you have a greater response to training. That's simply a fact. Um, so, of course, the more testosterone, the better as far as muscle mass is concerned, to a point. Um, the effect is pretty linear, but it's not entirely linear. It does end up capping off at a certain amount of testosterone where it doesn't help you to have more testosterone to gain more muscle. But that cap is pretty high. So you can take quite a lot of testosterone and continue to get additional benefit. As people know, though, the more testosterone that you take, the more potential there is for negative health effects of that greater testosterone intake. So you have to weigh the two against each other. And I guess that's the calculation that every bodybuilder ends up having to make. How much muscle do they want, and how much are they willing to risk in order to gain much more muscle? And that's an individual decision. Um, yeah, but within the range, within the normal range, having testosterone at the higher end of the normal range is going to help somebody gain muscle more easily. Of course, the downside of that is that you'll have fertility issues potentially, right? Some people have side effects on taking exogenous testosterone. Some people have none at all. Um, but some people do have some side effects. Yeah, so you have to weigh those two together. And then once you start taking exogenous testosterone, it tends to be quite difficult to get off for a few reasons. The first reason is that even having middle, like average testosterone and then taking testosterone, it feels good. It feels better to be on than it feels to have just normal testosterone. So once you start taking testosterone, you're not going to go off, even uh, withdrawal symptoms aside, like simply being on testosterone feels better. So that's one reason why you'd never want to go. And of course, that's one reason why you might want to try, TRT. The other reason, though, is that if you do want to go back to just producing your own testosterone, there is a withdrawal effect, and that can last anywhere from a few months to years. And there's still some controversy about how permanent that is. So there may be a permanent reduction in testosterone production if you go back to natural again. So yeah, so those are sort of the trade-offs.